Hey, do you want to have an outstanding relationship with your coworkers at work and with the boss? Well, if you're one of the employees who kind of comes in late, a fair amount of time, who just barely clocks in right on time, who does minimal work when you're assigned to a team for a team project, or who just doesn't contribute very much to meetings, or is maybe asked to bring some information or reports to a meeting in preparation for your part, and you sort of come hat in hand with really nothing, but you thought about it, and while everybody else prepared and is ready to go. Or toward the end of the day, and at the end of the day, you clock out. Let's just say your time is to clock out at, assuming you're an hourly time clock employee in this portion. Let's just say that your time schedule is to be done at 5 o'clock. And right at 5 o'clock and 00 seconds, or 4:59 and 59 seconds, bang, you punch that clock and you're out of there. Well, maybe there are a few loose ends that maybe should have been taken care of. If you're that kind of employee, you can be certain to have issues with coworkers and colleagues, and maybe even the boss. Maybe not the boss, because the boss may not even really notice it. Maybe the boss is up in the office and you just clocked out and you're gone. No big deal. But the people that you work with notice it for sure. And they may not want much to do with you. They may not want you on their team for team assignments. They may talk around the water cooler, the proverbial water cooler, if you will, about you and about the lack of value that you contribute in meetings or at work, or if there are some loose ends to be done. At the end of the day, you just kind of leave it because it's 5 o'clock after all. You won't stay till 5:03 to finish up that 3 minutes of little detail that you should have stayed to do. Those sorts of things. So how do you then, instead of having, well, that is your scenario, how do you create that really good atmosphere among your coworkers and you, where they actually like you and enjoy working with you and don't think negatively about you? Well, consider all of the things I just talked about and do just the opposite. It's pretty simple. It really is. Make that your standard operating procedure, your SOP. Allow me to just compare this to a small business or even a large company. Most small businesses and departments, divisions, and companies, if you will, have what are called standard operating procedures. It's how they do what they do on a regular basis. What are the acceptable standards? Well, for your career, for your job, for you as you incorporated, let's just call it that, set yourself a guideline and establish a standard operating procedure. Not that it is a business plan for your job, no, but write it down. Here are the kinds of things that I'm going to do to be a great employee. And maybe you don't even know the job you're going to be doing yet because you don't have that job yet. You're still looking for a job. Or maybe you have a job and you know exactly what you're supposed to do. But we can make it general. You can say, and make this like an affirmation statement, something like that. I am going to be sure to be on time, or maybe even 5 minutes early. I'm not going to worry about staying late a little bit if need be, if it's allowed, to get the job done or to wrap up the end of day details or what have you. I'm going to volunteer to take on additional responsibility if I'm assigned to a team project. I'm going to make sure that I contribute well to the team. I'm going to have valuable input, suggestions, ideas, those kinds of things. My quality of work is going to be exceptional. I'm going to do all I can to make the team look good, to make my coworkers and colleagues look good. There you go. It's pretty simple, but it's so simple that many people just don't think about it. Well, now you have this in front of you. Think about it and put into action that sort of standard operating procedure. And look at it on a regular basis. If you have it someplace where it's not just collecting dust on a shelf, because you may be the kind of person who does tend to kind of show up at 2 minutes past the start time, and maybe you do slack, and maybe you are lacking in some areas, and maybe I get all that. Sometimes that is a personality trait that people carry with them from job to job to job. But if you have something like that standard operating procedure for yourself in front of you, it can serve as a reminder. And it'll help you a tremendous amount. It'll help you with your relationships. It'll help you have that dynamic career, that dynamic job where people enjoy when they see you pulling up and coming in. Hey, Bobby's here or Susie's here. Great. Can't wait to start the day with him or with her because you're valuable and you contribute so well to the team or to the job or to the business, what have you. So take this to heart. I hope it didn't hurt your feelings if you're in that group of folks that tend to slack in the ways I described earlier. But if it did, that's okay. Take the advice I gave you and turn it around, and you will see your job, your career, and your relationships with the coworkers and your colleagues and your boss really improve. Thanks for watching. If you like this, if you got value, please hit the subscribe button and share this with everybody you know. And make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on future material. Meantime, I hope you have that job and a dynamic career and the great relationships with your coworkers and colleagues and your boss that you want to have. Take care.